SMT Nation, we back with another video, and this one's an indication that things are getting messy again. T-Mobile US Cellular may get roped into the 5G versus airline battle. Here we go, folks. Another FAA special, messing with C-band. All right, so there's an aviation coalition that wants to avoid another 11th hour issue with C-band. This story in particular from Mike Dano, I'll go ahead and link this in the description for you. Anyways, airline industry representatives sent a letter to the White House requesting additional time to retrofit their radio altimeters that they use for safely landing planes, for the automated landing of the planes. They're going ahead and doing this now as opposed to waiting until the very last second, like what happened last year back in like November, December, in which the carriers, Verizon, AT&T had to postpone their and delay their launch of C-band, which they paid many billions of dollars for, which the FCC said they could legally deploy and activate. Yeah, you guys remember this. So at the time, the carriers were very diplomatic. They absolutely accommodated the FAA's request. They pushed back the launch by a month, and then they also complied with the request to keep C-band away from airports, especially those that were going to be greatly affected by the C-band launching. And they did a nice job of it. I will tell you, I think the people over at Verizon and AT&T have done more than enough in terms of diplomacy to keep things kosher, to keep things level-headed, to kind of negotiate things and give and take, mostly give, not so much take. But here comes the FAA again. It's been, what, 3, 4 years, 5 years since the FAA knew that the spectrum was going to be deployed for 5G. They still have not finished all of the retrofits, adding filters and changing old altimeter gear. And this isn't changing, folks. According to the FAA, there's legitimate flight landing risk, unsafe conditions due to interference that would be caused by the C-band frequency being neighboring radio frequency to the radio altimeters, which operate, I think, if I remember this correctly, I think it's from like 4.2 to 4.4 gigahertz. C-band's 3.7 to 3.9. And there's over 200 megahertz of guard band between the two frequencies. The bottom line is this, folks. The legitimate risk of planes not being to land properly through the radio altimeter interference risk means that those radio altimeters are absolute trash. They're not even legacy is the word. They're archaic. They're from the Stone Age, right? And they still haven't changed them. And they've had years to do the replacements. They knew this was coming. They were at the table when C-band was being discussed and repacked and all of this from satellite. The carriers are done. I'm very happy to now learn that Verizon and AT&T are now considered to be at a stalemate and a standstill with the FAA and the aviation industry. I'm very glad to see that. They have done more than enough to be diplomatic, flexible, and negotiable. And it's gotten them absolutely nowhere. These people won't stop, right? At this point, I think it is imperative that, the administrations involved, the agencies involved, put their foot down and tell the FAA to buzz off and tell aviation industries to go ahead and land your planes and park your planes until you get them retrofitted. There's no other way to slice this. They're wrong. They're trying to prevent the deployment of a spectrum asset that's generated over $80 billion in bidding. And it's generated over $10 or $15 billion in repacking from the satellite industry. And it's already received clearance and authority through the FCC, who is the governing body of such issues, not the FAA. Where is the Department of Transportation now to tell the FAA, why haven't you upgraded your radio altimeters? It's been years and you still haven't done it. Now T-Mobile and US Cellular might get roped into this because if if things were to go the way of the FAA, you'll never see C-band at the airport, which means T-Mobile and US Cellular, who also paid money for the spectrum, they're going to be impacted by this as well. You don't pay billions of dollars in what's referred to as the Goldilocks 5G spectrum. You don't pay billions of dollars to be told you can't deploy it here. Go to hell, FAA. Absolutely horrendous, terrible, negligent, incompetent, trash politics. It's garbage. This is absolutely horrible. And this is a setback for our country. I don't know if you guys realize this. This is preventing innovation. This is preventing connectivity, the needs of the citizens. That's what the spectrum is for, right? This is what it's about. I mean, what's worse? You tell me. The fact that the FAA is trying to sabotage an industry, or the FAA being negligent and incompetent and putting riders of planes at risk of interference. Fine. Don't operate your radio altimeters. Just land the planes manually your damn selves. Tell your pilots to just land them. Turn off your radio altimeters if there's really interference. You don't want to update them, make them manually land them. Forget the automatic part. Oh, weather's bad? Oh, you should have thought about that before. The negligence and incompetence is unreal. So not only has it negatively impacted Verizon, AT&T, this is going to stretch into the T-Mobile era, the US Cellular era, when their blocks clear in 2023. Because if you're looking at the way things are progressing, the FAA is going to drag this out forever. They won't stop. They're never going to upgrade those altimeters on those planes unless the carriers pay for them. That's what all this is about. I'm glad that AT&T and Verizon won't budge. I hope T-Mobile and US Cellular join them in this battle. Tell the aviation industry, tell the FAA to go to hell. They could shove it. Incompetence of the highest order, folks. What do you guys think about this? Comment down below. You are the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Like, share, and subscribe for more. Turn on the bell notifications icon to never miss an upload. The article is linked in the description. Other stuff for the channel is down there as well. Words of positivity after this horrible news. Every new day is an opportunity to be great. Go out there and be great. See you guys on the next one. Peace.